a know-all, especially when it comes to our own lives. And this person actually knows.
I don't want to dress up for you and be a toy. I'm not that girl. No, I'm not that girl. Put your feelings aside. Give that wild shot a try. I'm not that girl.
Why is it common for people not to listen to others? Well, not truly listen anyway, but hear us only to respond. Sometimes we are going through something that torments us from within. We just need another to listen, hear us. We would be better off sitting all alone, cradling our thoughts, rather than releasing them to the judgments of another. And all we want, all we need is some comfort, that ear to listen, that shoulder to lean on. But rather than offer that, so many want to tell us what we should do, how we should cope, as if their way is the right way for us when we've not even solicited their advice. These people, whether consciously or unconsciously, by way of their sugar-coated dictatorship, are in fact invalidating our feelings, our right to release what's hurting us into the wind without judgment or opinion. Often advice we do not want, we have not sought, is shoved down our throat when we share something of ourselves, whether it be social media or basic conversation. This then sends us further into our private despair, fills us with shame and unspoken resentment, because this behavior from another can unwittingly make us feel small, like we are wrong or too ill-equipped to know what is right for ourselves. We share by way of release, not seeking counsel. Sometimes the well-meaning would serve well to learn decorum, especially when delving into parts of others' private lives they are in no way knowledgeable enough to speak on. Their 2 cents can feel invasive, interfering, and bloody well rude. Most cannot let go of the inherent need to pipe up when they should be in fact piping down. Typically, as soon as another starts speaking, they instinctively start thinking. Not about what the other is saying, but in fact what they can say next. They don't really care what the other's saying. Their primary focus is response. Their need for some level of power taking over the floor. Basically the sound of their own fucking voice. Typically those that have in no way got their shit fully together, but think they are adverse in how we should have all our ducks in a row according to their qualifications on our life. Naturally, when another puts their feelings on the line, it's good to say something. But listening to what they've actually said and communicating appropriately will have far more meaningful impact than listening to shoot back comparisons or be condescending. Talking at or over someone makes them feel meaningless. We should all try to respond to people, not at them. Talk to and listen to others how we ourselves wish to be listened and talked to. I think at times we all have these tendencies. We like to think we are the authority on this or that. But fact is, whether we are or aren't, unless our opinion is asked for, perhaps we should just learn to not give it, or not deliver it as though fact. It is also common for our own minds to have 50+ tabs open at once, and when another comes in wanting to open a new one, we feel like our heads are going to explode. We hear them talking, but we don't hear a fucking word they're saying. We often make assumptions that what others are saying is unimportant because what they're going through or about to embark on wouldn't impact or trouble us the same. So our knee-jerk reaction is to fob them off, nod, but not really take in a word. Or we go the opposite way and tell them to get over it, not worry about it, when clearly they are bloody worried about it or they'd not be talking about it. This is when we have to try to put ourselves in another's shoes and wise up to the fact that this is not about us, but about them, their feelings, their needs, their pain, their concerns. It's so easy to judge or analyze when another speaks. We jump to conclusions and assume ourselves somewhat an authority. But unless our personal opinion, how we deal or feel the other should do, is actually asked, unless our advice is specifically sought, then we should learn to shut the fuck up and refrain from delivering it. I know myself, if I open up, if I post something about my life, if I share on social media, I'm not seeking others to fix things for me or tell me how they'd handle or deal. These people are not walking the same path as I. These people are not in the same situation living my life. Nor does any know what's not their place to know. So they sure as shit have no place telling you, me, or anyone else how we should feel. Humans just want to be heard, not have others assume they know more than we about our own situation or the best way to navigate through. Others' unsought advice comes across as derogatory and a slap to the face tear down more times than not. The more we as people feel supported, the more we as people feel valid and understood. The more we will appreciate and respect those who actually hear us when we speak. Nobody likes a know-all, especially when it comes to our own lives, and this person actually knows fuck all. Unfortunately, those that listen to reply not to understand do not actually care about our woes or feelings. They are more so trying to big themselves up, impress with their so-called expertise on our problems. People often forget that it's not always their turn to take the floor, that sometimes another's speech time is due. They find our troubles insignificant or by way of shoving their ideal of coping into our head. They are boasting they'd somehow deal much better than we. Perhaps they are trying to come from a place of good by presenting us with a conclusion and resolution to our situation from their own mind's eye. But when delivered in a condescending manner without being asked for, it is taken by us as a kick to the gut, with their refusal to hear that we did not seek their counsel. I personally steer clear of those that make me feel small, dumping their opinions upon me as though gospel. I find them frustrating and distasteful. Freedom of speech is often a thinly veiled cover for overstepping boundaries, interfering, and outspokenness. Most likely the first to get their back up if another assumes to know what's best for them or their own lives. Most people do not focus on understanding what's troubling or upsetting another, but more often responds in a way that makes another's way of coping seem wrong, rather than repeating back what another has told us as a signal we've comprehended and heard them. We take in what points we like and offer feedback as though we ourselves are an authority. We all do it, we've all done it, and I myself try to refrain from doing it. We automatically, uninvited, go into repair mode. Even when they've not handed us a spanner or asked us to fix bugger all. We only listen half-assed, we take in key points to prod, poke, and analyse. We do not like when others treat us in this manner. So with a concentrated effort, I personally practice avoidance of this behaviour. Too often when we speak, others assume it's about them. They make comparisons in a pissing competition as such. We become less likely to share whom we are if another always makes it about who they are. Everything should not always be about us, but it sure as shit should not always be about them either. You know the kinds, as soon as you speak on any subject, they go into a long diatribe about themselves. Everything you share is compared to what they've been through, what they're going through, who they are, how they feel, how they would deal. Mind-numbing, a fucking conversational narcissist. They do not get that a two-way conversation is about listening and respecting. The frequent verbal diarrhea of I or Ives, the connoisseurs of me, me, me. Sure, we all sometimes share comparisons by way of showing others we have similar things in common. But there is a difference in invalidating by dismissal of the other person's storytelling by making it as though the story ours or about us. An acknowledgement of the other person, then sharing that you understand as you have experienced similar. Most people, if I'm frank, don't really care. They lack the empathy and patience to take the time to really listen to another. Truly listening comes when one is intelligent enough to concentrate enough to comprehend what another is saying without making assumption or comparison. When we shoot our mouth off during conversation, we learn fuck all. When we listen and observe, there is room to learn much. So often people will rant about anything and nothing to appear astute, even when their verbal contributions are of little relevance or validity. An act of the egotistical, seeking their own validation by impressing others even when speaking out their ass. When they mistake ego for intelligence and confidence. Sometimes we all have a lot on our plate and we get preoccupied with our own thoughts. And without truly listening, we throw in rubbish responses of ahas to give an impression of interest. Especially if it's someone who's never learned to listen but sure knows how to talk. The kind that rarely takes a breath for fear another may get a word in. We instinctively go into shutdown mode and nod in the right places, hoping the earth will open up and swallow us so we can escape the one-sided gibberish. There are many that think if they speak the loudest or the most that they will win. Others' words are simply left floating in the air, forever lost in translation. These people are the center of their own universe and typically believe they should be the center of everybody else's too. They genuinely think others wait with bated breath to hear all they have to say. Their words alone are the most important in the room. Nobody listens because they simply don't stop talking. Never dawns on them that it may actually be another person's turn to speak. Anything another says will go in one ear and out the other unless they see it as further means to speak about themselves. It's a domination trait in most cases, the need to control, to stand above all others. Whilst ever they manipulate the conversation, no other has the chance to challenge or offer another viewpoint. Listening is an imperative and important skill in a two-way conversation, and an art the controllers have never learned to master. Self-centered narcissism often comes into play also. The kinds that speak over or at. Everything is an opportunity to talk about, make it about themselves. They add no value to any conversation. They do not seek to form bonds with genuine two-way dialogue. They are too self-involved to care for one word that is not solely about them. They do not have the capacity to even momentarily allow focus to be on another. Their full focus is how to turn the conversation back to themselves. What they shall say next. When entering a conversation with another, we want to be heard, not served a sermon or monologue. We are all human. We all want to feel important. We all want others to genuinely hear. We all just want to feel valid, to feel heard. We shall all have our moment. We shall all have our time in the sun. But first, we must learn to revel in the sunshine. Learn to take a deep breath and take in all and everything of the beauty around us. Because it's only once we become at peace with everything and all we truly are. Only then can we be the ear. Only then can we fully listen to and allow others to share and revel in being who they truly are too.
Oh, you are making me breathe.
I'm Sharon Leanna. Thank you for watching all the way till the end. Drop me a comment so I know you're here, and be sure to hit the like button for me too. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe as it really helps my channel grow. I appreciate the support. Don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss my next one. And while you're here, check out my other videos. Until next time, love, peace, and light to you.
Break out of your shell, meet me